something very much like this. So we need to redesign this. And this is going to be called the Gravioli Mark II. Now let's make sure that should be, heck, let's just, yeah, that's an LVT-15 is the only liquid fuel engine I've actually got. We'll throw one of those on there. We're going to get rid of all of these batteries because these are the inefficient batteries. So this will be our orbital burn segment, and all we're gathering is data for Graviolis. So now we need a triple quadruple threat lower stage. So there'll be 4 engines, trilateral symmetry. Yeah, that should do it, I think. Let's go with 4, because we can modulate our engines. They're liquid fuel engines, so they've got that efficiency going for them that we don't otherwise have. Support it from the center stack. Go a little lower. My biggest concern is going to be balance in this design. And now we need to put on fins. We're not going to be landing this. This thing is going to be a complete loss. But this is going to be our first actual staged ship. So we're going to stage it and fire the second engine, and that'll get us a nice high orbit trajectory. POT2XL. So all I have to do is right-click one of these and tell it to get tested. Let's keep it straight. Let's put 8 of those on and 8 more. That'll make sure we have more than enough juice to get more than one Gravioli scan. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? The only catch. This has to be activated while suborbital, doesn't it? Well, if these can't get us to a suborbital flight, I will be absolutely appalled and startled simultaneously. So let's take a risk, take a chance, save the design. I think we'll be okay. Barring a failure on the launch pad, we should be all right. Okay. Now, we don't have the ability to do any adjustments to any of these tanks yet, so no fine-tuning of engines or anything that I've learned in Flyer's Ed. Let's just double check the weight here of those two. We've got 0.1 and a Gravioli is also 0.1, so those two are perfectly balanced with one another. Action groups, custom 1, log gravity data. That's all we need. Okay. Simple, elegant. As long as it doesn't collapse into a million pieces on the launch pad because of weight issues, we should be fine. I just hope the without struts. It's been no struts, which makes this really challenging. So the hope is that we'll be able to get this thing well into a suborbital flight. I wish I could make this window a little bigger. So there's our, oh, there we are. All right, engines to max. SAS that doesn't do anything on for my own comfort and happiness. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Slow down. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Nice. Look at that. We're launching with only, we're getting that much throttle. This thing is well and truly over-designed. All I have to do is keep it straight for a while and then do a tip to the left. Come on. Just don't tip over. Don't tip. Don't tip. Don't tip. Lovely. We got to keep it straight up and down for as much of this flight as possible. And this is going to be a retrograde flight. There's no way around it because the science we need is retrograde. And retrograde orbits are... Getting into orbit retrograde is expensive. Fortunately, we're not trying to get to orbit, but yeah, balance is still a little off, and it's definitely the balance between the Gravioli and the... I probably need one more of these, actually, a third something on there. Trilateral symmetry is always better than bilateral. But too late for that now. We've committed ourselves financially and everything. But our hope is we can get our apoapsis up to above the 7200 mark so that we can, or 77. We need to get above 78. And that's where we have to fire this last engine. Alright, we're at 3,000. Oh my god, okay, this is not actually going as well as I'd hoped. Look at that. Oop, losing speed. Come on, guys. Well, okay, so we're not going to get the test contract for the upper stage, which is too bad. This is not getting me nearly as much bang for my buck as I'd hoped. It's actually interesting just how little punch we're getting from these engines. I probably needed to put some boosters on the outside of this thing. But then I'd be stuck dragging the boosters up too, which is no good. Well, I guess we'll see what happens when we stage. So we're definitely not going to get one of the contracts, which is okay. This thing's still a little undersized for the job. Alright. Okay, we're doing a bit of a tip now. Because we need to be tipped over to... Okay, full throttle. There we go. Oh, and it has absolutely no control now. Because I put no control surfaces on this because I was not anticipating flying it in the atmosphere, which means disaster is about to strike. Unless we are really, really lucky. Well, our apoapsis is currently... It's a good thing these aren't test parts. This is just test the hardware, which is good news. It just means we're not going to get to offset the cost of this flight. Oh, no, we're losing it. This thing needed control surfaces. Shoot. I'm pushing buttons as hard as I can, and it's not going to do it for me. It's not going to do it. I already had started the tilt, so unless a miracle occurs, we are about to lose our chance at getting an orbit. Unless I put a lot of juice into it right now. Because we're at... No, we're not gonna make it. Are we? Come on. No, there's no way. This is barely going to be suborbital. It's not even going to be suborbital. Well, darn. That was expensive. Yeah. No, 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 no. Alright, well that was unfortunate. So, too many batteries. We'll cut half the batteries off. That was probably an excessive quantity of electricity. And control surfaces on the upper stage. And we'll just let that thing take care of itself. Oh. I'm in flight. Okay, fine. Okay. Jeepers. Alright, well, this thing will explode without your guys' supervision. It's mostly just going to take... Well, yeah. It's mostly just going to fly down to the ground and explode probably in the water, which means I'm not going to recover any of it. Got a nice flight, though. Good trajectory, just not high enough. Okay. I shall return momentarily. Hi, guys. So, I had to run a weather flight off camera, just the usual beast, no surprises or hiccups. If this thing fails, I'm basically going to be broke. I've got 5,000. I'll have to fly like a half dozen weather surveys to rebuild my finances. Anyways, I think this will work. I think it will do it. I've got a plan. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So we got to keep the thing as vertical as possible with a slight veer to the left towards the I think that's west. Yeah, that's west. But for now, we just got to keep it vertical, get it up to the upper stage. So I've cut off a ring of batteries. I added 3 more engines to the lower stage, which may or may not make sufficient difference. Rebalanced it with 2 Graviolis and the antenna right at the very top. It's as centered as is physically possible on a round surface. I suppose I could also do 2 bilateral antennas, or trilateral even. Whoop. Don't slow down. Whatever you do, don't slow down. Okay, slightly to the left. Ever so slightly to the left. But not too much, because the thing with no fins on the upper stage to save weight, I was thinking about it and decided against it. I think as long as I keep it steady, because I was doing a gravity turn during the last flight, and that was stupid. Not when you need a suborbital. You're actually looking for suborbital. Gravity turn is not what you want. Just a slight veer towards the direction you need to go is all we need. Okay, looking good. I think this is going to do it. I have high hopes, although the tilt is really driving me nuts. Come on, back up a little. Back up just a little. Just a little. There we go. This thing's got no parachutes, so unfortunately it's completely unrecoverable. Yeah, I might have been able to recover it if I'd thrown parachutes on it in retrospect, because it is just a suborbital flyer, not a orbital ship. Alright, gotta keep it vertical through into the upper atmosphere. Come on. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Come on, back up you go. Back up. Back to vertical. That's too far. That's too far. Come back. Come back. Shoot. Come on. I've got my finger pressed on the tilt right key. I know that's not a real direction, but that's the reference I'm working with right now. Okay, well, this is it. Transition time is coming. Apoapsis is 24, 25. Alright. Flame out coming in just a second. Come on. Get as much of the power in at the low elevation while the thing is still pointing in the right direction. Oh, it's tipping fast. Come on, up. No. No, come on. Come on. Oh, yes, we're tipping the right way. We're tipping the right way. Guys, we're tipping the right way. Oh, thank goodness. We're going. We're going. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Oh, my gosh. My heart is beating. Oh, and we've got a contract we need to do as well, because we can do the there we are. We've achieved. So we've got battery at 72 to 80 and 77 to 85 for this engine. Alright, well that'll do for elevation. We'll see if we can do this contract with just activating the engine. I know it's not part of staging, but maybe if I just fire the engine up, that might do it. So we need to get just a little higher. So first things first, transmit our Gravioli, because that's grasslands. I hope. Test. Done. Okay. Nope. Nope, nope. It has to actually be part of the next stage. Alright, well that's okay. That's not hurting anything. How are we doing for juice in this thing? And can we buy ourselves a little more time? Because this is almost a ship that's capable of making orbit right now. Can I get a different Gravioli scan? I just got Highlands, which is another one I don't have. If I've got the juice, which I do, we're going to send that home as well. Might as well use all our fuel up. Transmit that. What are we over now? Highlands still. Let's see, are we going to go over one more biome? Maybe we can hit 2 extra... No, transmit. Come on, you silly thing. And let's see, grasslands. Did we not get the grass? That was the hills we sent? Oh my gosh. Too cool. If this thing can last long enough, we will have actually gotten 3 kicks of science, which will give us... I think that's enough for all of the current tier of technology if I can get this all transmitted. Well, no sense in not trying because we got 2,000 battery units here. This thing, if I had a bit more control over it, almost could make orbit. Oh, we are going to be tight for time to transmit the grassland science. So yeah, I must have gotten the hills on the way up there. 698 and done. Okay, and transmit. Yes. Okay. I guess we'll see. I hope I didn't transmit anything extra, because we're running out of time here. Any engine firing I do will send us down faster. I can't reorient to give us more time. So basically, when we hit the atmosphere, that'll be the end of the road for this ship, which has served us extremely well. And the only downside is we are still bloody broke. So we're going to have to do some weather scans and some other stuff before maybe even get a Kerbal up to 30K. Failing that 12,500 mission by accident, just above the Highlands. Oh, okay. We're 1 transmission late, but we'll at least get part of the... We accidentally double transmitted the Highlands. We're not in the atmosphere yet. Come on, ship. We've got time. I might be able to even slow us down. Now the one upside is it was sub-orbital, not orbital, so this thing might actually not burn up in the atmosphere. 50% done. Well, we ain't getting any extra time, that's for sure. We're about to hit the atmosphere with 72% done. 80 burning time is coming. Oh. Let's see if we can... Yeah, no parachutes. Nope, it's swinging back down again. Burning time has started just as the science finished transmitting. Brilliant. Brilliant. We got all the science, and we got at least one of our punches of science, or one of our contracts. 20K, so that's pretty much paid for that flight. It hasn't paid for the other flight, but it paid for one, and we have now got 110 science. Good. Well, guys, let's see what we're going to buy with 110 science. If we're going to do orbits, we need this thing right here. We need flight control. Now with 65, we cannot buy anything in the next tier, but I think one of the earliest ones we're going to buy is aerodynamics, so we can bring ships back. Other thing was we've got Kerbals in orbit, more efficient communications, and inline stabilizer, better Prodyne core, yeah, heat shields, commercial payload contracts. Make a note, that's where you can get the contract to actually fly commercial flights to orbit. Our first docking port, which I'm going to start making use of on everything. And so it makes sense that we grab the advanced rocketry, which will get us the LV-420 and the next size down fuel tank, which should help us design our next ship. which will lead us to the Rockomex tank. These are not going to be easy decisions to make. The the stack adapters, the LVT-30 engines. Oh boy, next tier is going to be hard, and I'm going to have to do some math and figure out what I need to do to get the next tier of science. But for now, I got to figure out what I'm capable of doing with this. My instinct is ship in orbit, and we got ship in orbit, and we can't return goof. We might be able to return goof from a really low suborbital trajectory if we do it under control. We could also fire a ship as far out from the planet and get the way out in space, temperature, barometer, whatnot. But an orbiting Gravioli, polar orbit Gravioli scan would be my next most efficient mission, because a polar orbit would get us at least 2 biomes, if not 3. Yeah, a minimum of 2 if we play our cards right. But it's got to be in orbit. Like, there's no point in doing it suborbitally. It's got to be in orbit. Which unfortunately means we're not going to get that LVT, that one contract. Let's see how much time we've got left on it. And let's see what we got for contracts as well. Illuminator and a suborbital trajectory. That's almost worthless. No, we're not going to bother with that. I'll fly a weather survey, and I think in the next episode I'm going to fly this weather survey off camera because we need just a bit more funds. Do some quick tweaks to that Gravioli flight and make it a little easier to control, get it ready for an attempt at orbiting. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. At least this thing has no time limit on it. At least it says expires never, duration 100 days. So I'm not sure which it is, but it's only $2,500, so I'm not as worried about it. $625 if I fail, but a loss of prestige is big. So, all right, well, yeah, we're going to go conduct a weather survey off camera, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.